Oh my God, that's the worst thing that anyone has ever done to me.
I look absolutely
Cormac,
ridiculous,
I
man.
officially hate you. Anyway, guys, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Sao Paulo 2014. I put my trust in Cormac, and he has just done the absolute worst thing that he could have done to me.
He made you first in the Dutch league instead of fourth. It's the first time it happened for a long time. You should be thanking him.
There were a lot of things I expected when Cormac said, just close your eyes, trust me, I'm going to make you look awesome, but that's not something that crossed my mind. Either way, guys, welcome back to Sao Paulo. We got an awesome PVT coming up. I'm a little bit lost for words, so Jan, just take it away.
We're about to have puCK take on Bomber here, and I think this is definitely going to be a good match. Both players are in good shape. I actually met both of these guys on ladder yesterday. And so I can tell you, they've been practicing. They've not been slacking here in Brazil, and even though it's hot here, man, all players, they definitely want to make it far in this tournament. Stylistically, I think these two match up quite well versus each other. They like to play fairly aggressive. We've seen puCK use some, I would say, unusual strategies with the Colossus drop, with quick War Prism speed. He said he already beat Bomber with this before, but there was an agreement with which Bomber could not make Vikings. So I'm pretty sure now if this happens again, Bomber will make Vikings to make sure he can defend. But Bomber, I would say, is a lot better versus Colossus opener than he is against Storm. And it's especially true for a lot of Terrans, except maybe somebody like Teja, for example. And now he's up against puCK, who's somebody who really likes to open with Colossus a lot of the time, be it with a War Prism or not.
You know, puCK has been playing a lot of PVTs publicly lately. Like, he's been playing in the Game On, and before that I saw him in the Lake Charles tournament as well. While we take a look at Bomber, of course, Bomber recently got picked up by Team Red Bull. He's like the first official player to be solely sponsored by Red Bull, which is awesome. I'm really excited for that as well. Meanwhile, we're a little bit distracted over here. Either way, Johan, I want to go back to a little bit what you were talking about before, because it's funny, because I feel whenever I watch puCK, well, Johan just sank all the way to the bottom. Whenever I watch puCK in PVT, I actually feel that he is better when he opens up with Storm than when he opens up with Colossus. But the thing is, while we're going to take a look at puCK, of course, representing Team IVD Gaming.
I think it's because it's Protoss that's better with Storm than Colossus first.
Yeah, maybe.
I think the Terrans, they've got so much better versus Colossus play. Remember in Wings of Liberty? They would just get Vikings and then they move and hope for the best. Now they know how to get enough Vikings, how to dodge the fight for as long as possible, how to use the lack of mobility from these Colossi until later on in the game. And Terrans, they've really improved on getting into good positions, good concave, to try and get into those big fights that are also hard to deal with when you're a Terran.
But what we have seen a lot from Bomber as well, as we recently had the pleasure of casting him in a tournament that you organized at home, Johan, is that Bomber really likes to open up with 3 racks. Now, 3 racks is, of course, not the most economic way or not the quickest way to get medevacs out there, but it is in a way that you can at least take some map control early on and maybe put on some pressure on the Protoss. And it is really good in punishing very greedy Protosses.
Yeah.
Now, if we take a look at some of the games that puCK has played in the MLG Game On, for example, we saw that he opened up Oracle multiple times and then went double forts behind this. Now, I don't think that's something he can get away with, but he can still open up with an Oracle, but then just perhaps with a single force and play it a little more safely, and that might actually put him in a good position.
Well,
I'm really curious to see how this is going to unfold.
What do you think will happen if Bomber opens with his usual 3 barracks, gets a lot of units out there, and puCK goes for the quick Colossus War Prism? He's either going to get completely owned, or he's going to do the sickest hold, and he's going to be the most epic game.
He won't do it. Like, it's something that he used to do a lot on ladder, especially in Wings. In Heart of the Swarm, he's been doing a little less. And I think there's a less than 1% chance that he opens up with a Colossus War Prism here.
Look at puCK looking pretty happy now before the game starts. We'll see if that smile stays alive.
It is possible. Of course, if puCK would manage to somehow win this series, while Bomber is, of course, looking really sexy in that Red Bull jacket. Do you know that that Red Bull jacket is like super exclusive? Red Bull only gives it to their athletes. It's not possible to get a jacket any other way than being a Red Bull athlete.
Everything has a price, Roddy.
Not with Red Bull, son. They got money enough.
I look straight into the camera here for a second. Bomber definitely going to want to be focused for this first match. There is, I guess you could say there is some room for mistakes, because there is, if you lose a match, you still can qualify, but losing here will mean, would put Bomber in a bad spot. He would have only one more chance later on, assuming he'd beat the Brazilian player to advance against either Jack G or puCK, and puCK is looking on form.
Yeah, puCK looked really good in the first series of the day, and I'm super excited to see puCK throughout this entire tournament because I'm pretty sure we're going to see him make a very reasonable and deep run. Either way, I think the vetoes are done already as both players are in their booth, so I'm expecting game invites within the next 2 minutes, and then hopefully we can continue with Group A. Of course, there will be some Group B action later today as well. That's going to be fun, watching Dario play. TLO, MC, Hello Kitty. It's going to be a really fun group as well. And the Brazilian Zerg player, Shakti, who's actually, from what I've heard, one of the better Brazilians, like one of the top 3 for sure.
Okay,
That's
going to be interesting to find out about this guy a little bit more later on. puCK's looking a little bit stressed all of a sudden as the game's about to start. He had the big smile on. I guess you can't keep a smile. Well, in my case, I would never smile when I'm about to start a game, but...
You would not smile in this heat, Johan. You would be very angry.
Yes, maybe. Who knows, man. Times change.
Will you be having a tournament in Sao Paulo? Why can't we have it in Alaska?
Wow. Here goes that terrible impression out of you again.
Oh, well, Johan, you'd be surprised how accurate it is.
No, it's not. You need to put back that scarf, that Ajax scarf on back on, man. I told you were finally first in the Dutch league. How did it feel? 43 points instead of 36. What's up? I did my homework.
How do you suddenly know so much about Dutch football? Johan?
I did my homework. I know this was going to happen.
You guys are all terrible people for doing this to me. It's okay. I'll get back to Carmack. I'll find some Manchester United gear.
You can't get back to him, otherwise it's on. Otherwise the prank wars are on, and you don't want to start a prank war with Carmack.
It's okay. I know where he's weak. I believe we're still waiting for the game invite, but I'm pretty sure this game will start any minute from now on. As Johan mentioned before, the winner of this series will, of course, play against puCK. The loser of this series is going to play against the Brazilian Zerg player WM. And then later on, of course, the winners and losers will play against each other.
They're doing the vetoes right now, actually.
Ah, okay. So maybe you can talk us through?
Bomber chose first veto. There is 4 vetoes, so he vetoed Alterzim, puCK vetoed Daedalus. Actually, he wrote Dead Ulus, but it's okay. And I'm not surprised by this from puCK. Bomber, I guess, when you're a Terran, they used to veto Aquilon directly, but now it's not in the map pool anymore, so it really comes down to personal preference, I guess. And I'm not trying to say that Terran has no bad map versus Protoss, even though...
Altazim, of course, a massive map where a lot of Protoss players would even go Nexus first, because you can kind of get away with it. That first Repro arrives kind of late. Either way, not relevant to this series. Bomber vetoes Polar Knight as well. A little interesting. Polar Knight, an excellent map for Oracles. I am pretty sure we're going to see Bomber at least 3 racks in one of these games, if not in multiple games.
Really? It's an excellent map for Oracles?
I think the Polar Knight's pretty good. There's so much airspace around the base where the Oracle can idle for free. It will never be trapped.
Yeah, but you don't want it to be idle, you want it to be killing stuff.
Well, it can always fly and kill and go back again. It's safe for a long time. And puCK will veto Habitation Station, which is interesting because that's a map we actually played a lot in the recent weeks during the MLG game on.
It's the map that I played Bomber on yesterday.
There's a little bit
I played puCK on it too.
Yesterday, Johan Mello ran into Bomber's Protoss and he cheesed him. Then he ran into Bomber's Terran and Bomber's like, not again, Johan.
I didn't know it was him, to my defense. I tried to proxy him.
Johan is like, let me proxy this random Terran on NA ladder.
And later I saw that it was him, because I didn't know too during the whole game. Bomber smurfing, man.
So it seems like Bomber has picked Heavy Rain as the first map. Kind of interesting, I would say relatively wide natural. But it's also an excellent map for Blink Stalkers, and puCK has shown us multiple times that he doesn't mind opening up with Blink Stalkers. Not necessarily like a Blink Stalker all-in, but a Blink Stalker semi-pressure with maybe some damage here and there, and then he would not be afraid to transition into a double Forge High Templar build behind that.
But against someone like Bomber who gets 3 barracks early on and gets a lot of bio-outs, I think some kind of Blink Stalker on 1 base, on 2 base wouldn't work. On 2 base, there is more chances, but on 1 base, definitely not.
No, 1 base would be too big of a commitment. I definitely agree with that. So we will see how puCK is going to play this. puCK is also aware of it. Like he let me know that he was watching a couple of the games from the Warrior Invitational where Bomber played against Sasa, where Bomber also played against MC. He looked really good against Sasa. He didn't look that great against MC. Of course, MC is MC, and MC just makes stuff work. There's no shame in losing to MC.
And MC had an outstanding performance.
He's actually in the final.
Yeah. So actually, his performance in the Warrior Invitational, I think, makes me believe he's gonna get at least top 2 here. MC. He's in such a great shape. I know there's a lot of good players, but I'm going to say no. And I say top 2 just because I think saying that he's going to win might be a little too much. And I didn't want to make any too bold prediction. I know I'm not Arthos's, but still, going to be careful with those cursed things.
I was chatting a little bit with Bomber this morning. Bomber said like, you know, he's like, this is not the hardest tournament ever. He's like, but I'm still a little nervous. He's like, I'm not sure if I'm feeling that strong. I was like, you're Bomber. And then
he beat me on ladder.
Then he started giggling a little bit. I don't know. Of course, it's been a long trip for him as well, because I do believe that he came from Korea. And Korea to Sao Paulo is ridiculously far. It's hard to go much further if you're in Korea. It's pretty much as far as you're going to go.
They came at the wall's end, man, to qualify for Katowice here, these players.
Of course, top 2 is on the line. Top 2 is extremely important because that means that you will guarantee yourself a slot in IEM Katowice. This is the second last IEM stop, guys. And, oops, I'm going to have to leave the game real quick because it seems like the wrong game lobby was hosted. You were even promoted to game lobby host, Johan. You're game lobby host for 30 seconds and everything falls apart.
Second map's going to be Yonsu, by the way. Pretty cool maps.
That's a map where I can't see him open up with Blinkstalkers, even though Heavy Rain is really good for it.
Not Colossus, though? You really think he's not going to do it in a single game?
No. I would make a bet with you that he's not going to go Colossus drop a single game.
Haven't you lost enough money last week already?
It's never enough, Johan. You know my motto in life. I'd rather lose a bet than not bet at all. I have to join the game. I'm not in. I'm getting worried. Okay, there we go. We have a cool little Game Hard / IEM extension mod in this tournament as well. So it's sort of Game Hard, but with a little bit of a custom touch to it. It seems like puCK is ready. We're finally ready to start a second series of the day. Sorry for that small hold up. Once more, XMG Todd is our lobby host. If both players are ready, you can just fire this one up. And we can jump into our first game on Heavy Rain. I don't know what... both players are having a little bit of fun with each other in the lobby chat. Bomber said there is... puCK said no Viking, and then no puCK, no Viking, no Oracle. Well, then we would have a Colossus drop if there would be a no Viking exchange once more. puCK is always
that was the deal before that they had made.
That was a game on Paulo night. If you guys are wondering what it's all about, you should YouTube it. It's a pretty funny game. It was quite special, but it's nothing. But I don't think we're gonna see it like this time, yo. Either way, our first game is ready on Heavy Rain. As you can see, we jump into game right now.
And this Red Bull logo is perfectly in place here below this command center. And Bomber is going to be our blue Terran starting in the southern part of Heavy Rain here. Roddy, you're probably better than me at introductions.
Bomber looking fancy as always with those Red Bull headsets. And of course on the top side of the map we got a former Root player. These days he's representing Team IVD. He is one of the strongest Protoss players in North America, and he's been that for quite a while. He is of course puCK.
Do you know much about Team IVD?
I know the manager. He's a super nice guy, and Apocalypse is part of the team, and Apocalypse seems really happy with it. I was very pleasantly surprised, because when I saw Apocalypse on the team and Apocalypse made it to WCS America, I thought like, that's one of those teams, you know, that's around for 2-3 months and then it's gone again. But I was so pleasantly surprised by the guys. They were so kind, they were so nice, and above all, very realistic in their goals. And I really think that this is a team that's in it for the long haul, and we're going to hear a lot about them. And they
what does it mean, IVD?
I don't know.
Come on, Roddy. This is your region, man. You need to know this.
You're putting me on the spot there, Johan.
You need to know this stuff better. All right, one gas so far by puCK here on 15. Doesn't look like he wants to open with another one, at least a very quick second one. Whereas Bomber actually quite weak against proxies here. He doesn't seem to ever wall off his ramp, which I think is why MC proxied him when they played in the War Invitational. Maybe if puCK definitely saw that game, but can you really understand from just seeing one game of one player that he does not like to wall and doesn't do it often? Actually, look, Bomber's got it for it. He just got it for proxies inside of his main.
I mean, why not? You know, it's the first game in a major tournament, and you don't probably probably Bomber is not that familiar with puCK. I'm sure that he knows who he is, but I'm sure that he also hasn't seen a ton of games with him.
Do you think MC is the reason for that?
No, I mean, it's Heavy Rain. There is people cheat. Often it's a two-player map. it's always a possibility. We see an engineering bay going down already in the natural off puck. puCK did not skip the Zealot though, but I hope that he doesn't go in autopilot mode, start the Zealot and then...
Yeah. Oh, he cancelled it without sending a probe there. And Bomber,
Oh,
I
wow.
think he anticipated that. He was hoping for that.
Yep.
He was hoping that if he throws down a very quick eBay and goes into the main, puCK is going to think that there is no eBay on the expansion, because usually when the SCVs goes into the main, the Terran is not looking to put down an eBay very, very quickly, because sometimes you can outrun that SCV and throw down your Nexus. So
this is going to be really annoying already for
Yeah.
puCK. He's going to have to worry about this Reaper, which means that he can't
Twilight.
take care of that engineering bay. Twilight console indeed already going down, but the Reaper is going to see this, Johan. This is not a good opening for puCK, not at all.
Yeah.
Even losing a probe.
The Reaper on 2 kills already.
Wow, 2?
Here.
He
Yeah.
killed them both in the main?
Yes.
That's pretty sick.
And puCK here, it looks like he wants to go for what we said was probably not going to be good, even though this is definitely the best maps. The
he
best map to
cancelled.
try this on.
He's trying mind games, Johan.
Yeah.
He cancelled the Twilight. That was a
Stargate
little
logo.
too obvious. Yeah, but
And he's getting a second Stalker plus the Mothership Core. puCK's tech and his expansion are delayed a lot here.
yeah, I think he's still going to try to expand though.
Look
And
at Bomber, he's scouting everywhere on the map, by the way, with an SCV and the Reaper. He's trying to make sure there is no Oracle being made, so you call this pretty well here.
we see the second Rex going down as well in the back of Bomber's base. You know, even though this is indeed a bad opening for puCK, Bomber is going to be so worried about some sort of crazy all-in because he thinks like there's no way that his opponent is going to expand. If this Reaper, however, sees the Nexus, then it's really bad news. The Mothership Core is going to get a couple of free shots up. Bomber is going to check to see if he still sees that Twilight console, Johan, because it was there before. It's not there anymore. What a massive scout for Bomber.
This makes me think, man. Imagine puCK had anticipated that and remade the Twilight somewhere else.
Hashtag mind games.
The Stargate is going down close to the expansion. Since Bomber didn't see that natural expansion being thrown down by puCK, he has to be anticipating it. But if he chose to scan here in a second, he might be able to see the Stargate and the 2 extra gates as well, which will be huge. We're going to have to see. Oh, he uses a mule. Bomber does not feel like he needs to scan right now. He feels safe.
Just a 2-Rex opening as well so far for Bomber. He's going to throw down the factory, 2 Stalkers. Will park in front of Bomber's natural. This is mostly to deny any sort of SCV scouting. puCK hoping right now there's not a single SCV out on the map, which is correct. So if he would keep those units here, then he would actually deny that. But he's actually sending them back home. Or he's just cruising around.
Do you think puCK goes into just one single Oracle and then Colossus?
I think he really likes 2 Oracles.
Really?
And I'm not sure what's behind that, Johan, because often he goes into a Twilight or like a double Forge Twilight. Sometimes he indeed goes to Colossus as well. I think it's very hard to say, but I do think he's making 2 Oracles.
2 is better than 1, and you know what we say in France, jamais 203, so never 2 without 3. Remember that from BlizzCon?
Yes. And then everyone made fun of you because they never heard of that before.
Because they didn't get it, man.
Well, you were the only Frenchie at the table, Johan, in our defense. You can't really blame us for not knowing any French sayings.
All right, the first Oracle is going to fly in there, and there's a whole bunch of Marines ready. Scan went down.
Yep, and it sees pretty much everything, Johan. It sees the Forge, it sees the Stargate. There are Marines waiting.
Slow reaction by Bomber. He's not moving. 4 SCVs.
That's
Unacceptable.
It's pretty successful so far, especially because puCK is going to get a second Oracle as well. And those 2 Oracles, they will be annoying. They're going to hover around, try to put a cancel on buildings that are in progress, just pick up SCVs wherever they can, left and right. As long as there are no missile turrets, these SCVs are going to have the time with their life. And indeed, Johan, we do see the Twilight going down behind this. And I like that he's only dropping a single Forge, because I really think double Forge would be too greedy.
Yeah, I didn't like the start for puCK, but he's rebuilt himself back up quite well in this game. Now 10 walkers ahead. Oh, he has to be careful not to lose this. He has to keep them alive. Bomber's teams. And he doesn't get the kills on these Oracles. But if puCK is able to reach charge and possibly storm very quickly in this game, I think he's going to be in a great shape. And look, he throws down the very quick Templar Archive.
And the research is charged immediately as well. He needs a few additional gateways. Of course, he will have that Mothership Core, who, what I have to believe, is pretty good in defending stuff these days, right? We were watching.
So I've heard.
So we were watching some YouTube videos, some educational StarCraft videos. These Oracles will get away. He has to be careful though, Johan. He has to keep them alive. That's so important. He miscontrols one of them, and that one will fall. He keeps the other one alive though.
And lots of extra gateways will go down as well for puCK. He has to go up to 7 or 8 on 2 bases before starting to walk on a 3rd base, but I wouldn't be surprised if he starts getting a bunch of Templars out. Let's see how quickly he starts storm. There is a lot of Marines. if Bomber attacks soon here, which I think he's going to look to do, Storm might not be finished on time. This is the timing that Bomber has to hit. If Storm completes successfully and no damage is done, I think Bomber is going to be in the world of trouble. And those medivacs were spotted here. puCK's going to start getting ready. But look, even Charge might not be ready on time here.
No, but there is a difference between units stimming in and actually fighting, or them being dropped one by one. As long as puCK has units in an okay position, he's even getting an Archon as well. If he can pick up those Marines one by one, he will be fine. He just needs time as well. +1 is about to finish up as well for the Terran.
Lining up very well with Combat Shield here too. As the units are dropped, +1 finishes, and those units, they were all dropped on top of the ramp here already. puCK panicked and he made an Archon. I guess he had to. He has the Oracle here ready in defense as well. Okay, that's not going to be much. Never mind.
He had it indeed, Johan. Had. He casts Revelation and he will push his units away for now. So he's buying time for Storm, but does he have High Templars? Yes, he has 2 of them.
And proxying a pylon across the map. I think puCK might be planning for some aggression after holding... Oh my god, he has so many gateways, by the way. He's gone up to exactly 8 on these 2 bases. So he could even take a third and then hit some kind of timing at the same time. 4 Zealots were warped across the map. puCK could choose to send this if he knows that all of the units of Bomber across the map, which he knows right now with the Revelation.
Yeah, this is actually not looking bad at all for puCK. If +2 armor finishes up, he has Storm, he goes up to 3 bases, which I like. Because let's not forget, there is no third command center for Bomber. He doesn't have to attack or anything. Why would you want to attack into a 2-base Terran? Bomber is adding Widow Mines again, Johan. This is something we've seen of him previously as well. This could be annoying.
This might be an SCV pull attack here, timing by Bomber, which usually you try to hit a pre-Storm timing. But let's just say in this game, that ship has failed because it's way too late for him to be able to hit this timing. puCK's going for a 3rd base, and Bomber has quite a nice supply lead. That Mothership Core is going to basically do the same as the Oracle.
Oh, the Forge is going to fall. That's a massive pickup. No +2 armor. A couple of Zealots being wiped in as well. 2 of them get picked off immediately. A little bit sloppy there. At the same time, we do have a counter-attack on the other side of the map, but he shouldn't lose too many Zealots, though. He might land a big storm.
Oh, he could storm.
Oh, he's blocking his own High Templars.
Some units go on the high ground here from Bomber. Nice move. Gonna kill one of the Templars that had enough energy for a storm. That armory though, funky placement. Almost as bad as the Forge in the main of the puCK.
A couple of Zealots will get picked up over here. Overall, not a super successful counter-attack. At the same time, we can see Bomber being ready on the other side of the map, but there are enough charge bolts. Sentries as well, not really popping any Guardian shields.
And units are gonna keep on rallying across the map. Bomber here looking to drop the main. puCK has almost nothing in his main. A red Zealot, some Stalkers, and warping in a few extra units now.
Feedback perhaps on one of these medevacs. It's a little too late. Once more, these Marines will be unloaded, and right now puCK is in trouble, Johan, because this is where Bomber excels.
Yeah, Bomber has no plan to take a third. puCK has no idea. He goes for the 3rd base. Bomber's looking to punish right now. He keeps on pressing forward. Mothership Core, man. Not the right time to come out.
No, it spawned and it died. Here come the High Templars, and they might save the day, but at the same time, we got a massive army running in. Widow Mines as well, getting a reasonable position. Maybe one of the sentries is going to fall.
And Medivac's dying actually. Bomber has to be careful. He doesn't have that much energy on his other Medivacs. The Vikings fly past. Where were they even made actually?
He's going to land one of them. He could work on these rocks. That's exactly what he does. At the same time, a lot of medevacs are going to fly into the main though, and puCK is so out of position.
Yeah, I don't understand why puCK doesn't leave any units in his main. 2 Templars and a bunch of Zealots will do the job. Now the Mothership Core is not going to do anything. Man, it was just remade for like the 4th time, and he's going to die again, I think.
I mean, he's going to send in some High Templars. Here come the Widow Mines though. The Widow Mines might actually get some connections on High Templars.
He sent too much. He sent too much in the main. If he gets attacked at the 3rd base now, he's not going to have enough. He just had a few Zealots and 1 sentry there.
Bomber is utilizing this map really well though. He knows there is no blink on the other side. So you can just go to the high ground, go to the low ground and be really annoying. Spread the Protoss opponent thin. That army is all over the place. A lot of Widow Mines as well. You want to play with no robotics facility, that's fine. I'm going to make a lot of Widow Mines.
Yeah, puCK needed a cannon closer to that ramp here. He needs to take out those rock towers to buy himself some time. Some force fields go down. They're not going to help. And the upgrades, puCK is actually behind. He's 1-0 against 1-1 right now. Bomber with quite the supply lead.
Yeah, he's on double Forge, but he just has no army anymore. He only has 11 Zealots. It's 107 right now against 52. puCK is going to GG out. Bomber will win game number 1 here on Heavy Rain. After some excellent drop harassment, Johan.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit surprised by choice of strategy here. I feel like this was very risky what he just did. You're not supposed to be this aggressive against Templar play. And also he stayed on 2 bases. He really committed to this 2-base play. He had perfect belief and faith in his medivac drops, and in the end it worked out. But if puCK had noticed that there was no 3rd base from his opponent, we say something, for example, like a hallucination of a Phoenix, because he had some sentries. he would have been able to realize that he just needs to stay on 2 bases for a long time, and he's going to be in a great position. But overall, a little too many mistakes by puCK, like the misplacement on his forge, by example. You should never put your forge there, I feel like it's a turn. And also, he was very stubborn, kind of like you, man. He never left any units in his main. He always had to go back to defend.
Why does this somehow turn around on me? Come on, bro. We're just starting the tournament. Now, but let's not forget that it is kind of hard to defend against drop play if you do not have a robotics facility, because normally, you know, you put an observer above the airspace and that helps you give a lot of information. He had 2 oracles. He lost one of them in Bomber's main, and then he lost the other one after just casting a revelation. Bomber just said, all right, I'm going to pick up my units, I'm going to fly back, and we're just going to have to rehost the game once more, so sorry for that. Kind of lost my train of thought there, but he just said, I wait until revelation runs out, and then I'll go really crazy. I think Bomber just played very well, and puCK making 1 or 2 mistakes that you just can't make against a world-class player like Bomber.
Yes, and as I said, I think this was still very risky. And if puCK's able to identify what he went up against, what he just went up against, which I think he should, because he walked in the Zealots across the map, he sent them in, he saw there was no 3rd base,
you know,
so he should know.
Do you think that maybe, as crazy as it sounds, puCK shouldn't have taken his 3rd yet? Like, I know that it wasn't like a sort of okay moment to go up to 3 bases, but he didn't have to, because it was 2 base against 2 base.
I don't think it was his biggest mistake, because he had a lot of Templars. I think his biggest mistake in that game was not leaving units in the main. Usually you leave like 1 or 2 Templars and a bunch of Zealots, because if they're in position, when the turn lands, he gets feedbacked. Those units, they basically reach the ground as Zealots charge into them, which is not a good scenario. And the Medivacs cannot even heal them, because they're out of energy. And sometimes you're even going to have Storm, because those Templars, they keep on building up energy. So this kind of snowballed, basically, from Bomber. From the first drop on to later on, all the drops that he did, he completely snowballed out of control.
Picking up that Mothership core that one time as well, like it did get opposing overcharge down, but it didn't get like anything else, and it died, and after that it died again, and from that moment it just went from bad to worse. Either way, good play by Bomber, perhaps a little, you know, a rocky start for puCK, but he will have a chance to redeem himself with Young. So let's not forget that the opening phase of the game wasn't going all that well for him. He skipped the Zealot, then he had to drop the Twilight. He tried to pull on some mind games, but excellent scouting by Bomber after that. Just made it kind of hard to make this a really good game for puCK. On a certain moment, it's starting to look okay, but it was never really his game. Let's see if he's able to get off a better start on Yangzhou, and if he's able to do that, perhaps he's able to catapult himself in a better position as well.
Went from bad to worse. Kind of like your sports betting.
No, my sports betting is in an upswing, son.
That it goes from bad to worse, and then from worse to what? That's the question.
To bankrupt.
All right, Jiangsu. Definitely one of the best maps, in my opinion, in the pool right now. puCK gonna try again to cut some sort of a deal here. I don't think it's gonna work. Kind of remind me of when I played Sky in Warcraft and I asked for no lightning shield, to which he said no and proceeded to find it.
We will never forget. Norwood, was it?
I think Total Rock.
Oh, yeah, that was right. I did it against you, Uncle Norwood. The
just
good
wait,
old days.
Just wait, Ronnie.
Bomber is, of course, a blue Terran spawning in the left bottom side of Yangzhou. Recently being picked up by Red Bull, which I think is super awesome, super exciting, as I know that Red Bull is going to do a lot of cool stuff in 2014. And supporting Bomber is apparently one of them. puCK, of course, representing Team IVD Gaming, being our Red Portal spawning in the right top side of the map. Let's see how this game is going to play out for him, Johan.
They have a pretty cool logo as well. Yeah. The triangle.
But like normally when you have logos like that, like all 3 characters of the team name fit in the logo. Like there is obviously
but
an
not
I,
all of them.
there is a V, but where's the D?
Yeah, that's a D also.
The triangle D?
Yeah.
That's a strange D.
That's what she said. puCK, he opened with just 1 gas early on in the previous game, and that, by the way, that was a very interesting in the previous game opener by Bomber. We thought that it was pretty good, and it was. But then later on, puCK brought himself back quite well into the game, and then Bomber again regained the advantage with those nice medivac drops. So we'll see here how everything turns out. Bomber again did not scout for those proxies. It's going to be interesting to keep an eye on whether or not he does scout for it, because remember, MC proxied him on that very map in the bottom right-hand corner of his main base.
Oh, there we go, Johan. He's like once and never again. Check it out a little bit, and we'll probably just send his SV across the map as soon. Is he going to keep it there? No, he has a refining. I was like, what? This time most likely puCK won't cancel the Zealot because he's probably quite afraid of another engineering bay block. This is a map where I've seen him be aggressive a lot with Blink Stalkers, but not necessarily all in, just some big pressure and then following it up.
Yeah.
I don't think this is necessarily the best Oracle map, and I'd be surprised to see puCK go Oracles on this map. I think a Templar opening or maybe a straight Colossus opening is much more likely.
Remember what happens versus Bomber when you go straight into Colossus, man. Those SCVs.
The SCVs have no mercy.
Nama's driving the train, and when it hits, it hurts. So puCK's gonna have to be careful for that. Keep it in mind at all times.
Once more, Johan, he skipped the Zealot.
Yeah, and 3+3, by the way. Very quickly here. Let's see what puCK chooses to do here in a second. Bomber's gonna try to stay in there as long as possible. He should be able to time that Stalker pretty well. He's gonna get out of there before his SCV cannot escape.
Bomber cancelled the engineering bay after dropping it at first. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Like, I think if he gets an engineering bay up to 600, 700 HP, that's so worth it.
You should let it finish, then you can get turrets against Oracle.
Oh, that's not bad.
Double the
No, but like it takes so extremely long for a Stalker and a Mothership Core to take out an engineering bay with like 700 HP that it gives you so much additional ability to scout as well, because if you see those units are in the natural working on your eBay, this Reaper can be annoying in the main base again. I'm kind of surprised and kind of shocked that Bomber decides to just cancel the engineering bay.
I could feel the pain in your voice while you were saying that. I can tell it happened a lot of times too.
Yep.
Oh, the Reaper.
But you know, it's also good for me because then I'm on my stream. It's like, all right, guys, I'm just kind of forced to all in right now. I really didn't want to do this. But
actually, that's what you plan to do from the start, the Maximus build.
I cannot execute it like that. I don't have that Oracle control. Twilight once more going down, so this is an opening that we've seen
in a very
do
tricky place. If Bomber was to scan the main of puCK, I'm not sure he would actually catch that.
Yeah, most likely not. It's all
I think he would actually.
3 rocks opening this time, however, though, for Bomber. No tech labs just yet. He's going to drop his first tech lab right now while we talk about it. Here comes the Reaper. Reaper might hop into the main base. He's going to fly into the Stalker, but he will see the Twilight immediately.
Wow.
Bomber, you're a sick man.
Barely in range to be able to spot it. And knowing about this, he knows it's either Blink or Dark Templars, which is really going to help in defending. He throws down an eBay immediately.
Yeah, which I'm a little bit surprised by.
With that timing on the Twilight, by the way, I feel like there's almost no way puCK would have a Robo as well. So in this case, Bomber can just get a turret that is natural and be perfectly safe. He doesn't need to get one in the main. And remember also, Bomber is someone who's very good with that map awareness, those scans and everything. It's definitely one of those guys, DTs, very, very hard to pull off against.
Now puCK knows as well that Bomber knows what he's up to, and the Reaper actually is going to be annoying in the main base. Stalkers are out of position. He will get, no, he won't get this around, but he should be able to kill the Reaper now.
Oh, maybe Bomber could have escaped actually, but not gonna try for it. He keeps on going around the base, telling him, "Hey, I'm dancing. I can dance all day. I can dance all day." It's like, come on.
Eventually the Reaper will fall, but of course puCK knows that Bomber knows absolutely everything, and that it's very, very unlikely that some sort of crazy Blink Stalker all-in is going to work. Because I know there are a lot of people who think that, oh my god, this build is unstoppable. But it's not that unstoppable if you see it coming from miles away, and that's the case for Bomber right now. So puCK is going to probe up behind this. Of course he wants to pretend like he's going to go crazy, and here we have that Reddit knowledge shining through once more. We'll never forget, from -20 to +2200. That's karma, son.
We'll see how Bomber places his units. By the way, those two bunkers, they are the two bunkers that everybody's been getting against those Blink Stalkers attacks. They do really well, but actually one of those might be cancelled here. puCK needs to micro well. He's gonna be able to get it cancelled. This is a big deal.
Yep. Because right now, if that other bunker falls, then suddenly we have a game on our hands. But once more, puCK doesn't want to overcommit to this, Johan. He knows that Bomber knew this from.
Did you see the way that Bomber was staying with his entire army up the ramp? I think he was hoping that maybe puCK thinks there is not much in the main and then blinks in there. And oh, he's gonna have to be careful. He needs to spot those units with the Mothership Core. puCK sees everything right now. And a very quick charge went down behind this. This is the way that MC has been transitioning behind this as well. Trying to reach, charge, and then possibly a very quick storm. One forge goes down by puCK. Let's see if he goes for a second one or not. MC has done this in the past as well and done fairly decent with it.
I think single storm, just armor upgrades going into storm. Don't you think so? Single forge into storm. I don't think it's going to be a double forge.
Oh yeah. Templar Archives goes down, so. And puCK is going to have to be careful. I think he needs to cut pro production here very soon. Bring up his gate count to 8. He's on 7 right now.
Like, puCK needs to buy time with these Blink Stalkers. He knows that he's not going to be able to kill Bomber or something like that, but what he does know is he needs time to let at least charge finish up, because this is the moment where you have a lot of gates, but you don't have a whole lot of units.
Yeah.
28 army supply against 47, that's a terrifying position to be in.
How do you want to buy time against this, man?
Somehow, some way, just like be annoying.
Look at all these little men. So much determination. Charge about to finish, actually. And puCK definitely needs to be warping in exclusively Zealots right now. He's going to go up to 6 here in a second. But against these many Marines, 29 Marines, 9 Marauders. Steam puCK actually, he started Steam puCK and Combat Shield very late. Because he wanted to have enough units to defend. So it's very hard for Bomber to attack. Especially against Photon Overcharge if you don't have Steam puCK.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
Actually, I was not aware of that at all, Johan. I thought it was about to finish up, so I completely missed that. puCK is more than fine, and he will have more than enough time. We do see a third Orbital going down right now for Bomber. That's something that's going to be relatively hard for puCK to scout, unless he uses Hallucination. But right now, he's kind of worried about a big push, and he rather keeps his energy because he's like, hey, I need Guardian Shields, and I need Force Fields.
Yeah. I have to say I'm pretty impressed by puCK. Look, the way he's placing his units, he's got the Stalkers in the main, the Zealots in the expansion, and he's macroing very, very well, getting probes continuously, adding exactly how many gateways he needs to get, and he's got pylons on the map. Not bad for a guy who lost to me yesterday on ladder, no?
Wow, what a brag.
So shameless.
Shameless brag. And let's not forget, guys, right now, if you're watching this game, you're probably thinking like, there's not a whole lot going on. If you are Protoss in this phase in the game, you're terrified, because you have no idea, because he has no observer, so he doesn't know where this army is of Bomber. He doesn't know if a bunch of medevacs are about to fly in. This is a terrifying phase. Of course, you know, he doesn't know what we know, that Combat Shield and Stim puCK were relatively late. It's a big army from Bomber, Johan, but with Storm, I really like puCK's chances.
Yeah,
he's going to have Charge, Blink, and Storm.
We said that in previous game, though, and kind of fell apart. But here, puCK, being the one about to pressure, he stayed on 2 bases this time. He's not trying to take a third. And by the way, he was going to do something similar in the previous game. It's just that Bomber started applying pressure. Okay. But if he had attacked in the previous game with lots of Templars, I think he would have done well.
This is excellent unit positioning for Bomber. puCK, you don't want to do this. I know sometimes it looks tempting.
Oh, the hallucination. He
Storm
spotted the high ground.
Okay.
Nice storms go down, but is it going to be enough? No. puCK's trying to get in there right now. The Zealot's taking a ton of damage. He's going to have to pull back. Might be chased. This one single Marauder is going to get a Templar here.
He was determined as well, son. That was sick positioning by Bomber.
Yeah.
The excellent read with those bunkers as well, creating a little bit of SimCity, having units on the high ground. Cool idea with Hallucination and Storm on the high ground, but puCK, you don't want to do this, you want to back off, and we can see him dropping the Robo, so he is getting ready for another transition, but he's pretending right now that he still wants to go crazy.
Oh, he's going to try to catch some of those medivacs here.
He has Blink Stalkers.
Barely misses them. He saw them go past his units, and Bomber knows that puCK knows, so I wouldn't be surprised if Bomber chooses to pull back. He's going to have to be very careful here. Losing those 3 medivacs could be really huge mistake in this game here.
Okay, this third orbital, that should at least abandon mission for now. I think if puCK... What is he going to do with that?
He needs to defend.
Is he going to recall? Or?
Maybe.
Man, puCK's crazy.
He doesn't have much at home. He has one single Templar. Oh, is he even going to storm? No! puCK, what are you doing?
I don't know.
He recalls. In the main. What? He recalled in the main.
Wow, he's going to lose that natural, Yon. This is suddenly going really bad now again as well. As Bomber is going to take this natural for almost absolutely nothing. He might even be able to get out of this with a couple of these medevacs. Stalkers will blink forward. One medevac is going to fall. No.
Not even.
Bomber's efficiency. And now suddenly we're looking at 59 SCPs against 33 probes and 3 base Terran against a 1.5 base Protoss.
Absolute disaster here for mid-game by puCK. He's going to fall quite far behind on supply. And with those upgrades going by Bomber...
Oh, no cancel either, Johan. That's minus 400 minerals.
Finally going to get a single medivac here, and Bomber is still quite far ahead on supply. I'm surprised he doesn't get a Ghost Academy earlier. He still does not have it at this almost 16th minute.
He has 100.
And he definitely has the money for it.
puCK actually has reasonable army supply, Johan.
Yeah,
he knows about these medevacts as well. Feedbacks might go down, or Storm, I guess.
This is all in plus base trade.
Come on, use the High Templar. Oh my god, he loses the High Templar with 200 energy.
puCK's going all in, but he needs not only to crush his opponent's army, but also kill his buildings. This is going to be close to impossible to make work here. We have Widow Mines in position. puCK needs some good storms.
He might land some massive storms, but he will never kill all the bunkers. The Widow Mines are never going to do anything either. Army supply, we can see Bomber is doubling, almost even tripling the army supply. High Templars being sent in right now. They will all just die one by one. They will dance. And Bomber is going to win his first series of the day here at the Intox Masters Sao Paulo 2014. Pretty convincingly as well. Takes a sip of that Red Bull. He's like, yeah, couldn't have done it without it. Good series by Bomber. A little bit of an unfortunate series for puCK. If I was puCK, I wouldn't sweat it too much though. He's going to go up against the Brazilian Zerg next, and after that he's still going to play against either Bomber or puCK. You know, he missed perhaps now one opportunity to have a series against a Terran, but you know, there's still another chance.
puCK looking very upset here though. I think I would be pretty upset too. I mean, even though he lost to Bomber, he was in a very decent position in mid-game and just fell apart from there. And also, if you look at that last game, if I put myself in his shoes, he had Templars, there was no Ghost, he saw the Medivacs, and then he just kind of fell asleep in the middle of the game, didn't come back to defend, recalled in his main. That was like also the most questionable choice I think he made in that entire game.
As you said as well, he saw those 3 Medivacs leave, and perhaps he thought for a second like, okay, there are 3 Medivacs leaving, maybe this is my moment to actually kill my opponent, but Bomber was so well prepared. I have a lot of love for how Bomber was designing his natural. I was throwing down all those bunkers, it was very well done, and then indeed recalling to the main was a wrong decision, and from that point on it just, Bomber is out of control.
If you had, if you were in puCK's position and you had seen those Medivacs fly by, you will come back with everything?
I would just run back. I would send
with
maybe
everything.
Or I would maybe try to do something about the third orbiter. I don't think he would be able to kill it because he didn't have that much that could shoot up, but at least force it to lift off and then just recall to the main. Then recall to the natural, sorry, but at least like force no, not the main. No, but at least like, you know, do something about that.
So you would have lost even worse than
well, probably. I mean, there's a reason why we're sitting here and he's sitting there, no?
For you, yes.
Oh, Johan, yes. Because your track record is fantastic.
Against Bomber, right?
Either way, guys.
I lasted 1 minute in that commercial.
Yeah, against 9 Marines and SCP.
And the scouts, please.
Either way, guys, we'll be right back with much more StarCraft 2 action. I believe our next series is going to be Bomber versus puCK. So if you're ready for some awesome TVT, I think it's going to be sick. Most likely KLRs and Apollo will be bringing you that series. I can see that Apollo is already looking ready. Oh man, he's buffed as well. Like, you guys don't see what I see right now, but this is eye candy. Either way, we'll be right back with much more StarCraft from Brazil, Sao Paulo.